Okay.
Not only me, but some of the other men.
So what? I mean, I study my law, and I study the actual inner workings of how the Europeans, not tricked us, but they contracted with us with treaties and covenants. And what I want to know is what's your perspective? Like what do you see as what's happening and what's going on first let's start off what's going on now with the inner workings of the political side of it.
Well, right now we're trying to work on allying with non-natives in Tudley Heights and also in the Cayuga, like Haldeman area. Because in Tudley Heights and Brantford, which they want to develop 200 homes, over 200 homes, and then to construct an 8-acre waste facility. And where they want to build this basically is right on near an aquifer or on an aquifer. So that's why we kind of got involved in it with the people, residents of Tudley Heights. See, first and foremost, we need to find a common ground where I don't like to usually always talk about the Haldeman, because it's basically giving them the authority that, yeah, we gave you this land, but meanwhile, we've already owned it, so you can't give us nothing we've already owned. So that was my point of view on that. And we also had to encumber the 1701 NAFAN, a right to fish and hunt and occupy land, unmolested. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm listening. I'm just taking in your like the dates and I know of the Haldeman Treaty.
Yeah. See, well, we can't lean too much in that direction because we already owned it. We owned all of North America. And like one time I stood in City Council and I addressed them as that you guys didn't bring this stuff over here on a boat. It was already here. And I said, you would understand what it means to be Ungumhumwe. That means that we are called original beings to the land. So, for some unknown reason, you people think you own it. But I said, we're supposed to share in everything that is here. But for some unknown reason, they haven't agreed to share with us. They didn't follow through on their part. So that's why all these things are happening today. They talk about consulting, and I'm going to jump all over when I'm speaking, so just bear with me.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, so when they talk about consult and accommodate our people, they don't. So we need to sit down and if they want to negotiate in good faith, my theory was this to them, is that let's recognize the land as such. Okay, the underlying title will always be ours. And after that, let's go into a lease arrangement. Once we sign the lease arrangement, anything that goes on that piece of land now becomes 50% us, 50% you, and let's share in the revenue of that piece of real estate, taxes, whatever profits this company is also participating in. I said, and then I think you would see a better understanding coming from our end, because we're not getting nothing. And the government keeps choking our education and health, So this is where I got involved about 5 years ago, and I've studied. I got everything you want to know about our history from the beginning when we came. I even hate to use the word came in 1812, but we did come this way in 1812 because we didn't want to agree with the rest of the nations in the States that the people in the States agreed to surrender their weapons and never to take up arms against the United States government again. Then they were to live in peace, so that's what happened there. Where our people, the Ginagahaga, wouldn't agree with it, and those other 49 other nations who came with us, they also didn't agree with it. That we have a right to take up arms and defend our rights of who we are. But what's really sad, though, is that our people, and there's a lot of Ungumhumwe people who forgot who they are, eh? And that's the part, and it's almost to a point where they've been really assimilated, and then usually when I address people in public, and people who say, well, I'm Ungumhumwe, I'm Snobbic, I'm this and that. I said, no, you become that apple. The apple's red on the outside. I said, but you cut it. I said, that's what our people have become nowadays, that white. I said, but go to the core where those little dark seeds hang out. That's what my job is, to protect that. We always talk about those faces that are yet to come. So that's the role of us when we send out our messages, to remind people, this is who we are. Don't play Indian when it suits you. Like I always say, I live it, I eat it, I sleep it, I breathe it. This is who I am. you know. And then my job as being a man is to stand up and defend what is rightfully our people's, you know. And if it's only me standing there, hey, at least there's one of us who knows who they are, you know. So, in you taking law, basically anybody who stands there is sworn to uphold the laws of Canada. So realistically, he can't do it. Well, you can only go so far, and all of a sudden they rein you in.
Well, I'm not a student like in school law. I'm taking up my own personal studies and.
Oh yeah,
and
Well, you'll find it out as you're going along.
Well, I'm learning that the contracts or treaties are the highest treaty and contract in commerce, or what they call Admiralty law, and what actually really brings that to light is the two-row wampum belt. The Admiralty law, the law of the sea, comes into play the most, and that's like one of the oldest contracts I could think of, where they tell you where you keep your laws and religions in your boat, and we'll keep ours in our canoe. And Admiralty law has all to do with water and everything to do with water, because we're going down the river of life, having to do with water again.
Exactly.
So I got, that's what really piqued my interest, and then when I went to the Interpretations Act of Canada, Canada is interpreted as a body of water, and that's why when you do business, if me and you were to trade some moccasins for a necklace or something, that's bartering. But when you do that on ships, it's called commerce.
Exactly. See, that's what I was always infirm when speaking. If you look at, say, the Haldimand, the source begins in Dundalk. It ends in Port Maitland. And there's a body of water that right at the edge of it, right at the end of the river. That there could be our commerce. And that's what I tell people. But our people don't see the gist in it, eh? They just think, well, it's just a body of water. I don't really have that right to do that. So there's where the problem lies. It all boils down to not knowing who we really are, what our inherent and sovereign rights are. It's like, and we always talk, and I tell people this. I said, we talk about the ship and we talk about the canoe. In my way of thinking today, there is no more canoe. We are in their ship in a big way. We all carry status cards, provincial driver's license, all this. We go into their court system. We follow their law on a reserve, which we shouldn't be, but we do. So what I tell people is that we need to be finding a solution to get back out of that ship, to get back into our own canoe, to go down that river of life. See? But that's where I'm trying, and that's where my focus is.
Well, here's where I come in now.
Why is that, eh?
Because I can actually, I actually would like to get together and maybe arrange some sort of sit-down with, anybody, any head men or head ladies, clan mothers, hereditary chiefs, and let's just sit down and because what I've been uncovering and the information that I've been witnessing in some of these Supreme Courts and a lot of the different successes people are having with this approach with commerce and Admiralty law, is that what I'm learning is we are the kings of this land. We have no contract and we have no agreements, absolutely none that I can reference from back then, to have anything to do with Canada, seeing Canada hadn't even been created.
Exactly.
And so Canada is a third-party interloper upon this contract, which we, had essentially silently agreed to, and we jumped right in there by registering our babies with the birth registry, and we apply, in their legal language, it means to beg. So we begged to get on their ship, and we begged to register and offer ourselves to the king, because
exactly.
The word register comes from the Latin word regis, meaning to offer to the king, or to give up your rights to that. So you register your car, your house, your name, your kids, and that's why they call her the Queen Mum, because she's the mum of all these people who are registering their children with her, and that's why you get a check every month, because the Queen's paying you every month to take care of her children. So these are the type of studies that I've gotten into, and contracts that I've contracted with with courts, and actually look forward to maybe booking a flight with a bunch of you guys, and let's go down right to Buckingham Palace and ask if she's declaring war upon our people, and what's really going on. Like why is I mean, essentially, commerce is there. It's a government. They say you if you can't self-govern yourself, then you will be governed, right?
That's right.
And that's where a lot of our people, from what I'm witnessing, and that's why I want to see from your perspective, because you would have a more of an inside sight than I would. But I'm an outside looker, and even though I'm part of the people, I sing, I dance, I do all I can, and I teach health and nutrition about diabetes and cancer and HIV, and you know have all this knowledge. And I thought, well, I'm going to switch that over to law, and I'm going to switch it over to commerce and money, and it just hit me simply. Why do we not have our own birth registries? Why do we not have our own identification, like our own citizenship? Like we have the Haudenosaune application that we have down there, and I've been speaking with them a lot. And if we have that, why are we not issuing birth certificates? Why are we registering still with this de facto?
Because again, just the thing is not knowing who they really are. See, like with me, I'm one of the who's going to get that, which is the Men's Council of Grand River. We're a huge entity. It goes from here up to Ganawagi, which is Quebec, and over to Oneida, even into the States. We're not the Warrior Society or anything like that. We're dads, we're grandpas. But we follow the Gaya Lagoa, which is the Great Law. What plagues our communities today is the Gaya Wio, which is Handsome Lake religion. And it kind of crippled our people way back, and I guess the man was born in 1735. And that way of life is sort of made our people very passive. When we talk about bearing the weapons of war, and when he pulled that tree over, and he used his arm and he grabbed everything and he pulled it in. The weapons of war were for ourselves, but not for our enemies out there. They even took and buried the war chiefs, so to speak, because the chiefs and what they did with the clan mothers, in 1735, when they brung, in the mid-1850s, they brung in Gayawio. And what it did is it elevated the man and put down the woman, which in my way of thinking and believing that's totally wrong. Because like my wife, she's like my clan mother. She's my boss. And if she tells me to go and do things that are to protect the land and women and children, I have to go. That's my duty. Duty bound, it's not a right, but it's a duty that we have to do that. To all stand and lock arms and to weather any kind of storms that may come towards us. But a lot of our people here, though, that's what's dividing us, is this Handsome Lake religion and the Gaya Lagoa. So, in me, I follow the Gaya Lagoa, which means I always have to walk with a good mind and a good heart, constantly. I don't need to repent. It'd be like going to church on Sunday and repenting. But, religion should be nowhere. It's okay, but don't bring it into the longhouse. You know what I mean? That's my way of thinking, and it's really divided our people big time. You look at Ganawagi, same thing. Tainanega, Watas, Full, Gaya Lagoa, Oneida, it's divided. Six Nations divided. Every one of our Confederacy territories are all divided. It's mixed belief on this religion.
And see, that's where I believe. I mean, education needs to be put back with the people. Confidence needs to be put back within our people, because I believe that they have lost all confidence in their sovereignty and their ability to be sovereign, and they want to be governed. And especially with the diet that you're on, most of the diets people are on are actually weakening your mind. You can't think properly anymore. So now
that's right. That's what we've been saying all along. But nobody. It's like, see me. I grow my own garden. You grow your own. There's no chemicals whatsoever. It's just hard sweat labor that we put into our. I grew white corn. I grew the Three Sisters, and then I grow Indian tobacco. So what I do is I give seeds to other people who don't have them, and I encourage them to plant a garden. Because we need to make that connection back to Mother Earth. Because she sustains everything that's here for our people, but we as people become lazy.
Well, look
at.
I
going to the grocery store to get groceries.
Yeah, well, look at what you wear on our feet. We're wearing rubber soles that insulate us from our mother. We won't have that connection no more. I mean, anytime I get a chance, I'm taking my shoes off and I walk